Hello everyone, Alex here with another image review session. This one contains pictures from, or a few more pictures from my recent trip to Anilao, which was a Blackwater focused trip, but we did, usually we're doing 2 day dives and 2 night dives each night. So there's a mixture of day and night subjects here, and I'm slowly working my way through processing some of those pictures. So I thought I'd share a few more with you as I'm getting through them. Right, so there are 23 pictures here, so not so many, but let's have a look at them. The first one is one of these giant gobies. I can never remember the name of them, but the really big gobies that you get sometimes on the sea pens and the soft corals. And I thought since they're so big, I should shoot him really big in the frame. So I shot him with an SMC1 here, really filling the frame with this great big goby sitting on the sea pen, which is kind of quite a fun angle to shoot him from. Shot with the 90mm and the SMC on the Sony A1. Then a couple of Blackwater shots. Here, a very small male Argonaut octopus riding on a salp chain, and they often, pretend to be part of the salp chains by looking, very similar size and shape to the, size and color to the nucleus in the salps in each of the compartments in each of the individuals in the salp chain, and they hang on the side like that. The key kind of when you're trying to shoot them photographically is to try and get good eye contact with them, and then also have some of their arms visible so you can kind of see that they're an octopus and not just a blob on the salp chain, which is what I've tried to do here. Next up is an Abralius squid, another pelagic squid on the Blackwater dives. Most of the Blackwater shots are taken very similar settings of f20 to get plenty of depth of field, and then somewhere, and then nice fast shutter speed because I'm not trying to get any ambient light in. And then I'm varying the ISO a little bit, ISO 400, ISO 500, depending on what I'm shooting. Next is this flagtail pipefish, very dramatic, very beautiful flagtail at the end of him. You can see it there. Really kind of fancy coloration on that pipefish, so that was nice to shoot. And then back to a daytime dive here. But I remember it was very dark on this afternoon, so actually the focus lights of one of my buddies was an ideal. I slowed my shutter speed down to 1/8 of a second to allow that focus light to come in and backlight this sea pen with the four-lobed porcelain crabs on it. And the different colours are just different individuals. They're one of those species that has a lot of colour variation within them, but they're all the same species. And I like the backlighting effect on the polyps here as well. I was trying to zoom in on just sort of the way that blends in there. Looks pretty cool. Right, back to Blackwater, and this is a seahorse attached to a piece of plastic. There isn't actually a lot of plastic in the water in Anilao compared to some places, but these are shots that are always valuable and useful to take. So this is a seahorse attached to a piece of plastic on a Blackwater dive. Oh, I thought the next one was a fish. Yeah, there's another one in there. Oh, I don't know where that fish has gone. Oh, there it is. Yeah, and then this juvenile jack also sort of swimming with a piece of plastic there. They're quite a nice little pair to work together there. Right, back to where I was. I thought those two were next to each other, but there's these EMWL shots. A black frogfish. People ask me all the time, how should you shoot a black frogfish? And my answer is usually don't bother. Part of being a good photographer is learning what makes a good photograph. And a completely jet black fish probably doesn't make a good photograph. If you are going to take on a black frogfish, I think it's good to have a nice bright background around it. So, while you can't necessarily see that much detail on the frogfish, you can at least see its outline. So that's what I've done here with the EMWL. So I've let the ambient light come into the picture so the black frogfish stands out. And then I've got a couple of shots here. But yeah, down to a third of a 20th of a second. But these are at a third of a second here. These two shots of the yellow dwarf goby living in a bottle, and yeah, shot here with the EMWL, sort of slightly different perspective on these pictures, very much from their sort of bug-eyed view as opposed to our view of the bottle. So the bottle now looks a big, very good place to be living rather than a tiny hole. I got a couple of shots of those. I was hoping to get a pair of them actually, but I didn't have very long on this because I wanted to share the subject with others on the dive. And when I was there, I was only getting one of the gobies coming out. But it's a shot I'll be able to easily get another time with two of them. On this particular day, only one was coming out and posing, and it was this one which had this white thing in his mouth, which kind of looks a bit like a little a single tooth, but I think it's just a bit of sand or something caught in there. Right, next up is another EMWL shot, this time of a Clarkson enemy fish guarding its eggs. You can't really see the eggs too well. They're just here on the rock behind, not completely in focus. But the Clarkson enemy fish looks nice and mean, got its teeth showing, good eye contact. And I like the texture with the long exposure is given to the tentacles of this bulb tube, this bulb tentacle anemone behind. A acorn worm larvae, kind of a classic Blackwater subject. You see these everywhere you dive in Blackwater. They're very circumtropical. Certainly see them in the Caribbean dives. And a photo of orange frogfish here. It does look a bit like a warty. I was kind of just assuming it because it was orange that it was a painted frogfish, but I need to have a careful think to see if that is a painted or a warty. It looks quite like a warty actually. Ooh, I better check that. I was sort of just assumed because it was orange it was a painted, but it does look a bit like maybe it's a. Yeah, I'm not sure what type of frogfish that is actually. Anyway, that's an aside. We've seen this guy and his plastic. A couple of shots of a weedy scorpionfish or weedy rhinopius here. This one with backlighting, and then this one with front lighting. I think this individual looks better with the front lighting than the backlighting. But yeah, easy enough to do both ways on the dive. And those two are shot with, rather than the 90mm, with the 50mm Sony lens. And this guy here was shot with the Nikon 60mm lens. Just a bit of variety there in the lens choices. Then a couple of shots of a crinoid shrimp taken on a nice orange crinoid. Not the neatest background on that one, but nice pose of the shrimp. And then I like this one a lot with the curve of the end of the arm of the crinoid. Looks nice and relaxed, pleasing sort of shot. Then back into Blackwater, a jack inside a tunicate, and a jack in the jelly, and some more fish hanging out with the jelly. Here, a free swimming female argonaut. Not probably not. I don't like them when they're as silvery as this. I prefer them when this is the winged argonaut. You can see its little wing on the shell there. But I prefer these when they're got a little bit more colour to them than when they go really silvery like this. An EMWL shot inside a crinoid. I really like the swirly mess of this shot. It's lovely textures, lovely feeling of movement. Really feels alive. One of my favourite crinoid shots actually. Really different, really original feel to that shot. So yeah, really, really pleasing that shot. And it's got cool textures in it as well. And then the final image is another crinoid shrimp. Here with a long exposure to get some ambient light coming through into the picture, and there's quite a lot of unintentional movement in this shot that actually I rather like as a sort of finished result. So I quite like it's taken on a half second. I quite like the movement that comes into that picture. So that's just a quick roundup of some of the recently processed Anilao pictures. I've still got a good number more to process from there, so there are bound to be some more updates coming your way. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that was useful. Bye.